Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Philly Sports Network and the Outside Insider. Apologies for there being no stream on Monday. Body clock was all sorts of messed up after officially turning another year older and another year bolder as the hairline continues to go back. But we are back in business for scouting potential draft prospects for the Philadelphia Eagles in the 2025 NFL Draft. So if I can find the tab to share, it should be that one. Done that. Right, so here's what we've got so far. We've got a lot of names to look through. So just to recap our first stream where we started going through here, we almost focused exclusively on defensive tackles. And if you're new to this stream, the whole point of it is that we just go through sort of one by one, looking at players and giving them a rough grade from what the eye test tells us. So not what analysts say, not what PFF says, not what the stats say or scouts, but just a really quick eye test on each player so we can get a gauge and familiarize ourselves with some of the many prospects in this year's upcoming draft class. So we, again, focused nearly exclusively, I think, on defensive line, with Walter Nolan being the runaway winner of the three that we looked at. I couldn't see much hype with Shamar Turner. Derek Harmon was very good, clearing away the first-round selection there. But the most value and the guy that should be maybe tangible for the Eagles to get would be Walter Nolan. So that's what we're going to be looking at for today's video. And just going over some more prospects within that. What's up, A? Nice to see you, man. If I go back here, these are the prospects we have to look through. So JJ Pegs, he's one of them. Jihad Campbell, Trayvon Walker, Malachi Starks, Malachi Moore, all of the Malachis. And if you do have any names that you want to see us scout on this stream, then be sure just to drop them in the comments and we'll get to them as soon as we can. So where do we start? Where are you guys feeling that you want to start for today's video? Oh, the thing's gone. Never mind. Hang on, bear with me. I don't know why that's messed up. For some reason that stopped. Maybe it's because I tabbed out. What I'm going to have to do is get the chat open on another tab on my iPad so I can actually see what you're all saying to me. So give me 2 seconds while I sort that, and then we will go into some actual scouting and get a few players on the go, because there are plenty to look at for sure. But if there is a particular player that you are after that you'd like to see me break down, drop it in the comments. I've opened the wrong window. If we go here, let's just pick one at random. That guy. That wasn't a name. That one. Kenneth Grant, Michigan. Not sure where he is. Not sure where he plays. Again, I'm still quite new to the prospects in this year's draft, but it's no better time. Here we go. So we got it's another defensive lineman, and this one's got circles on it, so that's automatically a good start. James Pierce Jr., we've got a shout for him. Is he on our list? He's not. I'll add him now, and we'll do him afterwards. How about that? Or maybe we have got him. Oh, we do have him. Okay, James Pierce Jr. All right, we'll do him afterwards then. So we'll start with whoever this is, Kenneth Grant. And then we will do James Pierce Jr. after that. So another defensive lineman then for the Eagles, as we have a lovely EasyJet advert to kick us off. Just making sure you can all see what's going on. You can. Lovely. Right. So, I don't like how there's no, I don't want YouTube Premium. Right. Circle the rest. The number 78 is who we're looking at here. How we love to draft for the trenches. Absolutely. Which is why I think why we're kind of focusing on this, like especially after losing Milton Williams, and you look at Josh Sweat leaving, you look at Brandon Graham leaving, they're going to absolutely have to try and find some depth somewhere. And with this being a very top-heavy draft, like those later round picks, day 3, are going to be so valuable for, you know, pinching that developmental talent. So let's see what Kenneth Grant can offer. The first play isn't too spectacular, but he was double team. Let's see this one. 2 double teams in a row, which inspire a little bit of confidence just as to how he's being treated. Now, immediately the first move here, that outside arm, the leverage is good. Is he able to get off the block? Nice ball rush in. Double teamed again. He's just trying to get a feel as to what kind of player he is. He's being absolutely clattered here by Washington. Like, they want nothing to do with him. And I don't blame them. We'll go back and watch that one again. I think he actually gets a sack on this play. No, he doesn't get washed out of it completely. Okay, I was looking at the wrong player. My apologies. Lining up on the other side. Little niggle straight away. Little quibble. There's a lack of effort here Okay, now it might not count for much. It might not sound like a lot, but to me, when you've got players sprinting towards a ball carrier, that's a light jog. And I understand that you've got players marauding the ball and the guys coming down. That's fine. I would like to see a little bit more of a motor there, a little bit more of a will to get to the ball, especially if you look at how Fangio plays and how disruptive guys like even Jordan Davis is. Like Jordan Davis moves sideline to sideline. You know, we all remember that Bills game, not last year, but the year before, where he ended up chasing Josh Allen out of bounds. That's the sort of hustle that is demanded from a player at this position in Philadelphia. And it's only one play, and we can't make a gross assumption. However, that's sort of two, isn't it? Although he does sort of get washed out. What's the actual move like? He kind of runs into trouble again with 2 blocks. There wasn't anywhere for him to go there, but yeah, I'm not going to hold that one over him. This one, though, it's not bad. It's just not. Okay, very good hands on this next rep, though. Watch here, number 78 in the red circle. Very active. Very active. Does he get under the pad level? Yes, he does. There you go. Right, okay. So now when he isn't double teamed, that's the first sack we've seen from him. We'll watch it a couple more times just to get a better view of it. I like that. I like that he keeps moving, keeps his feet moving forward, leverages well, slams the guy to the ground, and then brings the quarterback down. So it is there. It's just sort of like it's almost a little bit selective. 2 good plays in a row there, though. So the very next play, just mauling his way through. So there is power there. Like he's not, being washed out of every single play. It's interesting. This is interesting. I mean, again, this is very early. I mean, we can go through a couple of these just because these cut-ups are so much easier to dive into than, a full game where you're scanning every play. Like these are the ones where it's exclusively his snaps. You can do it in a few minutes and get a gauge on the player and then do a few of them so you can see him against different opponents and stuff. I would say like 4th round-ish. I mean, that was nice. Maybe that's been bumped up to a 3rd round. Like, that's the thing. The effort's there. It's just not over the top. It's like 90%. Like his foot's not to the floor, but it's like near it. And I just wonder if there's any. If you can squeeze that extra juice out of him, you might have a long-term developmental football player on your hands. But if you can't, you are going to be stuck with someone that just maybe doesn't give that extra mile, which at the pros is going to get punished a lot. It's the ones where he has to move to the ball. That's the ones that are confusing me. Like as soon as he has to move to the ball and it's not a straight line, he just sort of preserves his energy, which is fine if that's what he's been asked to do. But I don't know if that's a bit better there. But I mean, the speed around the outside isn't stunning. Like you can see they've tried to pull a stunt here where him and 55 switch over to confuse the lineman. It should open things up for the ends to crash the interior. They can't. It all ends up like a bit of a mess in the pile. Again, not terrible, not brilliant. I don't know. I don't know how are you guys feeling about this? I'm not blown away, and I'm not, fuming at it. But I wouldn't be spending anywhere near like a day 1 pick or a day 2 pick. Like this is day 3, and I could be wrong. But I'm not seeing anything that really blows me away here. Other than the hands, that he's got very good hands. When he uses them, he's very efficient. What's up, Greg? Nice to see you, man. Thanks for hopping in the stream. I know it's been a little while, but we are back. We are trying to be consistent again. Again, unfortunately, I was meant to do Monday, but I got back on Sunday during the day. But I've been so used to basically I went away to London for my 30th birthday. And because I was on like English time the whole time, I was in bed by like 9:30. And this stream here is 11 p.m. UK time. So I was a little bit too delirious, for lack of a better term, to do an Eagles stream on draft prospects. It wouldn't have been good viewing. But we are back. That's a bit better there, though. He moved to that ball a little bit more proficiently. So I don't know. To me, this is just a middle of the road player middle of the draft. I don't think there's much risk. I don't think there's much upside either. He's just sort of somewhere in the middle. Hmm. The only thing is his hands. He has very good hand usage. It's the one thing that I think I'd like to say everyone here can pick up on is just he's very active in that early going. But in terms of being like washed out of plays, that happens a little bit too often. His motor getting to the ball when it's not in a straight line is questionable, I think, at times. Little spin move there, counted for nothing, but he's got it in the locker. Like the pass rush moves are there. See, that's nice, goes up and under, can't really get away from it. But again, a bit more of a versatile game here compared to what we saw against Washington. He's looking a bit more. Maybe it's comfort. Maybe it's just they're playing him a bit more ISO based. Although that one was a double team there. Like you can't view him as like a Jordan Davis sort of nose tackle type player, and you can't see him as a Jalen Carter-esque pass rusher. He's just somewhere in the middle. And I feel like now the Eagles are in a spot where they want someone very light like a Milton Williams or very heavy like a Jordan Davis. It's harder to pressure on the quarterback from inside than outside. Oh, I completely agree. It's not so much the pressure, it's more how he's being moved around. Like if we go back and watch, a couple of the other players that we've graded here, like if you go back to the sheet, both Walter Nolan and Derek Harmon both popped in terms of being able to actually penetrate and get pressure and more importantly, just get off blocks. And this just looks more of an effort thing. Like I think he can do it. Like the technique is there. Like the hands are incredible. Like he's got a lot of moves in his locker. It's just a case of how many are gonna translate to the NFL when there doesn't appear. He's got the cake with no cherry on top. Is what I would like to say. Which, if you're in the middle of the draft, is what you want. But the biggest takeaway is he's got very active hands. He's very good with them. Doesn't have a lot of top end like burst off the line of scrimmage. Doesn't have a lot of speed. Isn't overly agile, but doesn't have the size where you can go, oh, he's not expected to be quick because he's a mauler. He's just somewhere in the middle. And then when he has to move for the ball, like if there's a running back or something, he just doesn't seem to get there as quick as he should. Let's look at that play here. That's probably a good example. Like he's just sort of dancing around a little bit. And maybe he is just slow, but I'm not expecting him to run in and make a diving tackle. But with your hands in the air and just sort of jogging, I'm not a big fan. Like there are some plays where it's all right. There's other plays where it's just, well, that's it. It's just all right. I think. Like there you go. That's a bit better. Like so he sort of again another stunt move here to running around the tackle that works quite well. Like I feel like he's like a horse. For those that watch horse racing, if you put blinkers on a horse to stop him worrying about the outside stuff and let him focus, some horses perform better with them. This is sort of like Kenneth Grant. Like if he's got blinkers on and he has one task, which is to go forward, or the opponent is forward, or you're pass rushing or whatever, he's all in. If you take him away from that, like we'll watch another game, so I want to be sure in this. As soon as he's tasked with stopping the run, as soon as he's tasked with getting to a ball carrier or getting off a block and changing direction, that effort doesn't look anywhere near as prominent as it did, when he's tasked with someone else. But it's not like he's a relentless pass rusher. Like that was better there in terms of effort. Right in the middle of the pack, double teamed, pushes the part onto the ball carrier. If that was every play, I'll be much higher on him than I am. But it's just sort of not. Like, let's have a look at this one. 78 here. Drops back into coverage, which is something Fangio asks from his defensive lineman. Although, based on what we've seen here, I wouldn't be smitten with the idea of getting him to do it. That one was a bit better in terms of pressure. But it's also worth noting the level of opponent. Like, Minnesota aren't really ever a team that should be challenging Michigan offensively. And he's still being washed out of a few plays. That's better hands, better pressure. I would say 40 in completion, but he definitely contributed to it. But Yeah, this isn't it for me. This isn't it for me. It's not to say he's not going to be a good player. It's not to say he doesn't have upside. I mean, I don't know where he's expected to go. Let's have a look. I think we've seen enough. Let's see where he's meant to go. I'm intrigued. Let's see what NFL is saying, because they're saying, okay, well, his athletic testing looks better, or his combine testing looks better. All 14 games. What are we saying? Does Lance Zerline say? A little bit inconsistent on tape. He's going to be a freaky tester, and guys with that size and those numbers are really hard to find. Strengths, bit with a broad chest. Yeah, capable of playing multiple spots. We said that. Can absorb double teams. We said that. Lacks explosiveness. We said that. Tougher time going routes against angle blocks. Limited range and short area quickness. We said that. And poor first quick step. We said that. So have they given him an actual grade here? Like, does he have a grade? 6.3, which puts him a plus starter. What's up, CMV? How you doing, man? Dude's 6'4", 331. Yeah, I mean, he's a monster, but I feel like with that sort of size, you'd want a bit more out of him, and it's just not there for me on tape. So I'm gonna grade him quite tough, because look, I've got to be honest, and I can be wrong. Like, that's the thing. I'm gonna be wrong about players. That's the beauty of doing these streams, is that we learn together. And if I'm wrong, you can laugh at me in 3 months' time when he goes second round and then he goes on to win Rookie of the Year or something, you know. Pass rush moves, I'm going to be fair to him. I think he shows a lot on tape. Like, he really shows a lot on tape. It's his biggest strength by a mile. His get off is not great. If anything, it's like a little bit slow. The motor, I would say, is questionable. Very questionable. I'd agree with your sentiment, Greg, that he's definitely more Jordan Davis. But again, with Jordan Davis, you've got this like freakish, outworldly ability to, you know, move like your Milton Williams, and he never gets enough credit for that, in just the way he's able to actually keep that motor going, to track down ball carriers, to plug gaps, to rush past. Like, he can do everything. And I don't think Grant does anything spectacularly. Power is probably like a 7. Agility is probably like a 6, but he is obviously bigger. And if we bring that down here, 32. So he grades a little bit higher than Shamar Turner, lower notably than Walter Nolan and Derek Harmon. So I don't know where he's expected to go in the draft. I've not, again, this is my first experience of the player, but interesting way to start. So I'm not mad. It's solid. If you get him round 6, round 7, it's a guy with big size, with a lot of pass rushing moves that can absolutely be molded. And if he's in the right environment, you'd like to think that maybe that motor can be honed in a little bit, and being around guys like Jordan Davis and such would help him. But we'll see. I'm not sold, not, you know, going all in, and I'm also not willing to bet on a failure. Like, I think he could be something. He's got the intangibles to be something, but is that going to be enough? So do we look at TJ Sanders? We haven't yet. I've got to get to James Pierce Jr. That was who was next on our list. We can take Grant out. We can take these guys out. We need... Where's he to? James Pierce Jr. Right. That's next on our list. Now, I don't know where he plays either, to be honest. We might have our first player for another position with a bit of luck. Defensive end. I see. So have we got a space on our sheet for defensive end? We don't. Okay. Well, it's pretty much the same thing. In terms of just an eye test, like, it just is very similar. Make that as edge, and then go here. Cool. Like, there's pass rush moves, get off motor. Instead of power agility, let's maybe take these two. What are we saying? I want to make sure I get the grading criteria right, because I don't think they are the same, but a lot of the traits are going to carry over. So it's more, I would say, I'd replace agility with bend. Like, I'm able to bend the edge and set the edge quite nicely. And I would put... I'm going to put contain. Even though that's not like a metric we could go off, I think that for me is more of, can you stop the run? Are you able to stop quarterbacks escaping? Can you just seal the edge? Like, bending, I think, is your ability to get round the outside, to use pass rushing moves to beat your tackle. Like, I would almost see this as like a ladder. So you need a good get off, good motor, then your pass rushing moves, then can you get round, and then can you seal it? Like I think that's probably the most linear way we can grade a defensive tackle. Hands and arm length. See, I think that's the sort of thing where it's really important to note when evaluating a prospect. And maybe I should have update all of our players that we have, like especially with defensive tackle, where like we can't really grade Kenneth Grant the same way as we would Walter Nolan or Derek Harmon. Just to include their intangibles. Maybe I'll do that for next stream. I'm going to suit this up. Like I love making spreadsheets. I'm a little menace for it. You know, well, I don't even know what email I'm on right now, but I've got another spreadsheet for like stock market analysis, and it's like so many columns and colors. Like I love it. So maybe I'll get a bit bored, and I'll if I can find some time, I'll zhuzh this up a bit, put some extra criteria in there, just so we can get a better read on the players. But for now, let's look at James Pierce Jr. So this is a defensive end. I don't know who he plays for. Tennessee he plays for. So let's have a look. See what he can do. I'm intrigued because CMV, so it's going to be fun. So which play we look at? Right, it's outside left edge. Well, that's a good start. That's a very good start. Let's just watch that again because he kind of changes direction nice. There's not a lot of contact. Brushes through it well. Takes a knock there and he's able to still keep moving forward. And look at that swim off a block. That's a sort of play that won't ever get much credit, but should, because of the amount of like you're being dragged down by a 300-pound human and you're still trying to pressure the quarterback into an incomplete pass. Lines up on the other side, hit. Hang on a minute. How big is this guy in terms of size? And why is he being absolutely upended by an edge rusher that looks like a safety? I don't know what James Pierce Jr. is eating for breakfast, but he was nearly off the ground. He was literally nearly off the ground. Like I want to try and freeze frame this a minute because I think he's off the ground. Look, he is off the ground. He has got 1 foot off the ground. I think that is all right. Well, we've got someone that's got our attention. In terms of difference of vibes early on, that was nice as well. The pass got completed, but gets his hands up to try and bring it down or at least deflect that into trouble. It doesn't quite work. This is interesting. So very next play, you've got him lined up here without a hand in the dirt. So something again you sometimes see with the Fangio system. Let's just see what he's got here. He's able to get past the receiver quite nicely. Now he has to move on to a block, gets into the pads. Very nice feet. Very nice feet. Just watch how quickly the footwork picks up here. There, just really sprints past. I like that. That's impressive. CMV says he was a top 5 pick last year and had a less productive year and some maturity issues, which is why he's now somehow possible for us. JPJ is supposed to be 6'5". Is he? I wouldn't say he looks 6'5". He looks more like I don't know. I mean, in fairness, you line him up against these tackles and he doesn't really look out of place in terms of height. So this film is from 2025. Is it 20? It says 2025, but is it? This is 2023 tape. Okay, so this is before the down year. I would love actually to see tape from the down year because what we're seeing here is someone who's got everything. I mean, I like him as a prospect. I don't know where he's expected to go in this draft. If we're going off one game, absolutely lethal. Huge get-off speed, high motor, a lot of pass rushing moves, violent hands. Is able to like set the edge pretty well. If you look at this, just crashing a player down. It's unfortunate again. That was another one that he got a lot of work done, got pressure to the quarterback, does well. That's the sort of thing I'm on about when it comes to setting the edge, right? If you've got a quarterback that's going to maybe sneak through a gap, nice, really intelligent play, really intelligent play. Down near the goal line. God, he is a menace, isn't he? You can tell he is the heartbeat of that defensive line. I don't think they know what to do with him, to be honest. I think, if I'm honest, they're double teaming the wrong guy. Yeah, I like what I see. I really like what I see. Unbelievable speed. Looks like he was held a bit there, still got through. There's another one where the pass was sort of lucky to have found its intended target. There's another sack. Yeah, he is just a different gravy, isn't he? So nice little twist inside. He's just not really phased by it. He moves so fluidly. Just like that there, like the change of direction. 1 minute he's facing this way, and then okay, no, he's going over here now. It's wild, absolutely wild. There's a lot to like here. This is someone you can really use in a variety of different situations. I wonder size-wise if that might hurt him at the next level. But having said that, you're looking at what he's doing to these 300-pound tackles, and I don't think there's much reason to be concerned. Yeah, he's just a different animal. Takes a chip off a running back. I mean, it's like, again, another one where the pass gets completed. I don't really think that had much chance. He just does a lot well. He's so quick and so zippy is probably the best word I could use to describe him. He just zips around off blocks. Like, he's hard to keep still. He's really hard to keep still. And that's the best compliment I could possibly give when looking at an edge rusher, is that, you know, the goal for an offensive lineman is just to stop them in their tracks, like hold the line, keep the pocket clean, and give your quarterback time. If you've got someone that is just able to get away from contact within a second of it being initiated, it's problematic. And that's good. So we've got, I like this against JC Latham and Caden Proctor. JC Latham's obviously now an NFL tackle. So this must have been, when was this? Oh, so this was last year then, where JPJ was supposedly the first overall pick. I can see why at the hype. So what do you do in 2024 then? How bad was this down year that he's now a fringe first rounder? Who are they playing against there, quarterback wise? That's not who I think it is. No, it can't be. That'd be way too old. Again, variety of different situations. Like I like what I'm seeing out of him. I really like what I'm seeing out of him. Like, he's just giving that tackle work. A lot of work. And it's again an NFL caliber tackle. I don't think you should be able to do that, really. Like, you shouldn't be able to make a spin move that long and, I would say ugly. I think that's probably the wrong term, but just long, and still find a way there and a path into the quarterback. Now the pass is complete, but just look at the spin. Like that, he ends up being maybe an arm's length away from the tackle. So ideally, a spin move, you want to kind of roll across the chest of the tackle to keep momentum and generate forward. He's a whole body length away here and still able to roll around the front of him and get pressure, which is staggering. I mean, that get off there is crazy as well. Like, just that's it. If you could draw a line, I don't think I've got a plug-in where I can draw a line, but if you can draw a line vertically down there, like, across the hats, he's a good 6 inches in front of everyone. Is he like, I guess, the top edge rusher in this draft then, or are there people that are apparently better than him? Because if I'm honest, I'm going to find it hard, unless there was something really bad on 2024 tape. Depending on these maturity issues and that kind of thing. But he's doing fine. Like, there's nothing to scoff at here. There's never been a remotely average player. I think he's been extremely good throughout. We'll have to move up in the draft for him. Okay, I need to have a look at some mock drafts and see where he's actually being taken. But it's if the Eagles are confident in him, is this going to be a Quinion Mitchell scenario where they want to move up and get him? Because I wouldn't be against it. I really wouldn't be against it if he can play like that. I want to see 2024 tape. Okay, we've got highlights, but that's not the same. Here we go. Right, Kentucky, that'll do. Oh, it's 8 minutes, but it's fine. I think it's worth it to evaluate a player like this. Like, if you are going to have to move up in the draft to get him, then so be it. Because this could be game changing. Right, so we saw him in 2023. What is he like in 2024? Well, that's a good start. If that's the first play we see, I think we're in for a good spot here. Very weirdly enough, they've not shown any interest whatsoever. No interview, top 30 visits. I don't get it. That is weird. Unless, I mean, the only thing I can think of then would be, depending on these maturity issues, you either expect him to slide a lot further, or they're just not interested because it doesn't fit the culture of their locker room. And it's like, you could have all the talent in the world, but when you're building your locker room around these like Georgia team captain, high motor, high energy, you can point to a Jalen Carter situation, but the Eagles were in a very unique spot where they could do that due diligence because you had Jordan Davis, you had Nakobe Dean there, who can give you a bit more insight. I don't know if you can do that with a guy from Tennessee, and if you put him in a big sit. Like, I don't know what the issues are, so it's really hard to speculate on. I might have to do some digging. As a player, I really don't think there's much wrong with him. Like, there's not a single weakness that I've seen in, at least in 2023 tape. The get off is still there in 2024. We can at least establish that much. Yeah, he's good. Like, that's the only way to say it. He's very, very good. Levels above what we've looked at previously, even previously in this show. And I know it's different positions, but in terms of just an outright talent level, I think he's just on a different wave to a lot of the players that we've looked at early on. Again, very good hands. Doesn't quite get the pressure that he wanted, but see what he does from a wider alignment here. Can he crash inside? No, he's getting a little bit more work here now against Kentucky. He's not having it all his own way, which is interesting because he had that in the other 3 games that we've looked at. That's better, but so what happened there? Why didn't he get pressure there? What's the deal? He's able to get off his block. Okay, I should just dump underneath. I was going to say another extra couple steps. It would have probably been all over that, to be honest. But yeah, I can't see anything on the 2024 tape compared to the year before where I would be alarmed as such. I mean, okay, I say that. I mean, did just fall over. But was he dragged down? Yeah, I'm not going to put that on him as such. Might be overthinking, but he ran his 40 in a hoodie in an interview, said he forgot his original combine outfit at the hotel. I don't think that's overthinking. I think that's probably a really good thing to spot. Like, realistically, the combine is going to be the biggest day of your entire life. You want to present yourself well. You're talking to potential new employers at the end of the day. Like, this isn't just, get through college, I can play football and that sort of thing. This is like we're taking a gamble on you, potentially for 5 years. If you're a first-round pick, that's a 5-year contract, essentially, to be one of the cornerstones of our team that we build around. And if you're going to show up to an event like that, forgetting your combine outfit, running your 40 in a hoodie, it just looks like a lack of care. And I can see why teams maybe would be against that, in the same way it's like if you turn up to a job interview in just, sweatpants and a hoodie, it's going to be probably looking a lot less positive for you than someone that went out there in a suit. It's just the way it is. Like, you make the effort to try and impress your employer, and if he's not done that, then it's on him, really. It'd be interesting to get a fly on the wall and look at some of those team interviews if he did have any. Because there has to be teams interested in him. He's too good to not have some interest. The issue that the Eagles are going to have, though, is like, the drop off in talent here is massive between like the top 10 and below. So realistically, do you just gamble anyway? Like, is he going to be that far ahead in terms of physical talent than anyone else, where it's like, all right, we either get a guy we're moderately concerned about in terms of character, or we get a guy where we're not, but he's like 5th round pick level talent going in the 3rd because there's no one else near him. And if it comes to that, I think you might just have to take the gamble, because when you're a world championship team and you've lost a couple of players, that's the sort of guy that can get you back over the edge, if you pardon the pun. And I wouldn't mind it at all when you look at the way he plays. Like, this is 2024, bear in mind. He slipped between 2 tackles straight in. He plays mean. He's got long arms, he's rangy, he's quick, he's extremely instinctive. If it's just a mentality thing, this might be a good spot for him. But are we going to see a situation where he just slips and slips and slips, and then it becomes a case of how early do you pull the trigger? Because the issue for the Eagles here is that, having won the Super Bowl and being current champions, they're picking at the rear of the pack. And if you don't take a swing at, the bottom of round 1, is someone going to take him in round 2? And if you don't take him at the bottom of round 2, he probably isn't going to be there for the bottom of round 3. So you've got to be a bit more aggressive than the other teams who may be middle of the pack. And it's like, well, it's the same amount of picks between selections, but in terms of the player value, the difference between pick 15 in round 1 and round 2 is much less egregious than 32 and 32, because that talent drop off is going to be bottom of the order every single time. So that could be worth considering. Like, if the Eagles are going to look at him, would they have to essentially overpay by a round, unless they move back or up, which is obviously viable? But I don't know. It's interesting that they haven't shown any interest in him. But as a player, I like him. I think he's clearly got it all together. I'm not really seeing why there would be a down year as such, because he's not exactly playing any differently than what we saw on tape in the 2023 variants. Like, the get-off's still there, the burst is still there. I feel he's got to drop from round 1. Yeah, if you talk character concerns, he's 99% going to drop. But do you take him at bottom of round 2? Because if you don't, he's got to go round 3. Or if you think he's going to go in the 2nd, do you move up for him? And if you do, is that silly? Like, it's a really complex case, because those character concerns have to be pretty large for this to even be a discussion. Like, we're not talking about a player that's average, but he's in a weak positional group in the class and he's going to go 15th overall, and we might go 21 now. This is a guy that, as we established, was a former potential number 1 overall pick, went back, apparently had a down year, although the evidence on tape isn't looking down to me, and now has character concerns. So something's got to give there. But as a player, I think I've seen enough to put a grade on him, and he is just different gravy. Absolutely unbelievable. Pass rush moves, 8.5. I like what I see. The get off is like a 9. The motor's like a 9. His ability to bend is like I don't want to go too glazy. Let's not go over the top here. Probably 8.5. And his containing's probably an 8.5 as well, which is still extremely good. What have I done there? Oops. Do that. 43.5, which would put him, if we're going off the draft grades, a little bit below Derek Harmon. So I don't know where Derek Harmon's scheduled to go. I think we said mid-first round, if I'm not mistaken. So that's interesting. Okay. So he's definitely a mid-first round in terms of talent from very loose Liam draft grades, which can often be hit and miss, as we've seen. But it's just good to get a gauge on a player. And with someone like that, I think what would do it for me is if we go through the rest of the defensive ends over the next few weeks, and he's by far and away the highest. Or you go 43, and then you've got a load at 35, then you've got a load at 28, and there's just a real drop off in defensive end talent. And if that's the case, and you need a defensive end, you kind of have to take a swing at that, because he's by far and away the most talented player on the board. Then it becomes a no-brainer to maybe take him at 32 if you believe in him that much. Or if you think he's going to slide, definitely looking at a move up for him. But yeah, it's intriguing. So look at another player. I think we got room for one more, maybe 2. I've landed on Malachi Starks. I'm not sure where he plays or what he does, but we'll have a look. Although the name does ring a bell. It's a Georgia player, which is always a good start. Is this a wideout? Oh, it's a safety. Okay. I don't know. We don't want that. We want Don't give me that. Give me. Here we go. Give me a game. Give me a game to dive into. Right. Get out. Get rid of this. All right. Okay. So safety number 2. Oh, this is the only thing with these dodgy film things is that like it's only TV cam. You just never see a safety there. Really annoying. But okay, we're capable. Hey, what's up, Scott? Nice to see you, man. How you doing? So he's got him on the outside in coverage. Very physical. Okay, I like that view. Let's go back and look at that. Look at him kind of just staying in phase there all the way through. Probably would have got a holding flag on another play, to be honest with you. But, you know, it is what it is. It's not bad. Also, really quickly, have we done our safety sheet? Yeah, we have. Okay. So for the safety grades, we've got pass coverage, which is just going to kind of encapsulate your. I say ball skills already there. JPJ was not invited to the draft, so he might not be round 1. Well, that is very intriguing. Very intriguing. I'm sure Howie's got to be, you know, his meerkat ears would have been perked up hearing that. Oh, I'm honestly really interested to see where he goes. Like, because he's too talented to go below like round 3. If he gets to that point, someone's taking a flyer on him. But stranger things have happened. But safety, we've got play strength, which for me is like your ability to finish tackles. It's your ability to stay in phase if you're in coverage. It's your ability to go up for a ball and challenge it and not get knocked off your spot. And, you know, more importantly, when it comes to like playing the run, it's like, can you bring a ball carrier down without whimsing on the tackle? Are you able to shed blocks, that sort of thing? Ball skills kind of speak for themselves. What do you like around the ball? Please stop showing that picture of Fletcher Cox. What picture of Fletcher Cox? What am I missing here? Excuse me? What picture of Fletcher Cox are you looking at, fella? I'm very confused what you mean. Ball skills, quickness, again, speaks for itself. It's going to be more. I'll rephrase that to agility. I think I want to talk like fluidity, like are you able to flip your hips? Are you able to change direction very quickly? You click and close, all of that sort of thing are all, you know, very vital to this. Run defense speaks for itself. And then, yeah, playing the pass kind of encapsulates all of it. So that's our grading scale of what we're going to be using here on Malachi Starks. So Georgia player, safety, that automatically ticks 2 boxes for the Eagles, doesn't it? Because you're looking at someone that is plays for Georgia. That's kind of all they ever need you to do these days. But we'll see what we can get out of him here. Again, I don't know where he's expected to go. This is my first time ever looking at him. So any player that is on this list, I've not watched. The reality is after pick 15, nobody knows. Starts can be taken at 16 or 45. Weird draft. Okay. Well, that's good to know. So let's see what we can do with him then. Let's see where he pops up on Liam's scale. Oh dear, did you just get toasted over the top? What happened there? Hang on, what happened there? All right, so he's in the slot. Well, I say he's in the slot. He's technically playing like free safety, but so it's a rub right underneath. He's coming down to defend the screen, and they've just like it's just everyone a pick play over the top. I'm not sure if that's explicitly his fault, but they've definitely drawn him in. Although by that point, it's probably a bit too late for him to realise. Watch it again. What have they done? What is it? Why is he? I don't know. I'm really trying to work out what he's doing here. So he just moves downhill, thinking it's all. Yeah, okay, fair enough. We'll just put it on great play design from Texas, and I won't overthink that. Plenty more plays to actually see what he can do. You know, moving around the field, downhill. Okay, not great, but let's have a look again. Is he sifting through traffic? Right, that should be one on. Okay, it wasn't 1-on-1 because the running back went into the pack. So. Okay, all right. I'm still concerned what Scott means about showing that picture of Fletcher Cox. I don't know what picture I'm meant to be showing here, but mine has accidentally shared the wrong screen. I've just got like a. I've got my bookmarks open as well. I don't know how to shut them. There we go. Just like a Fletcher Cox montage or something in the background. I missed that play because I was yapping. Bear with me. Hang on. Let's go back again. Right, so he's back. It's the only thing with his TV camera. I really don't like it. Because you're not going to get to see it until it's too late. But, okay, that's nice. That was nice. From what I saw anyway. Nice pick and close. Secure tackle. There you go. That's ticking a box. That's that. See, now that, do you know when I started that column a minute ago talking about run defense and, you know, I was unsure how to phrase it, so I put play strength, you know, kind of encapsulating tackles. What is going on with this spreadsheet? Oh, balls, that right? I don't know what's happened there. But you know what I mean? This little bit here where it says play strength, and I was talking about tackling and making sure that you can bring down ball carriers securely. That's what I was talking about. Like, you can't be doing that. Not on a 4th and 1 as well. 4th and 1, and it's hard though because every safety struggles with this. Like, it's not exclusive to him. Like, I understand it, but at the same time, FTC Championship 4th and 1, and that's the angle you take. Like, nah. Do we get a better view here? Or is this another play? Oh, it's better view. It's too. I don't know. I won't be too heavy on him because I understand with the intensity of a 4th and 1 in that situation, you're trying to get down and make a tackle as soon as possible, but not the best. We'll call it a non-factor for now. If it happens again, we've got problems. That's better. Like, he wants to tackle, he wants to hit, which is more than can be said for some, you know, cover safeties explicitly. So I'm not, you know, too concerned at it. We've got a holding call against him here. Okay, so they've stopped this on Alex. I could please be a run play. Let me get. Oh no, pass. Fine. See this. This is not good. This is immediately not good. No. I mean, okay, right. In fairness, he gets tackled out of the way. Right. See, this is why you don't jump to conclusions and assume he makes an ass out of you and me. Right. He was in line to make that tackle, and then this bozo just decided to throw him out of the way. So, not putting that on Starks. That wasn't his fault. Okay, it's fine. There's nothing terrible about it. Oh, drop pass. I'll pick it up. Okay, that's better. Okay, the instincts are there. That's fine. That's not a problem. You know, he didn't just kind of sit on the ball and wait. Oh, hello. Was he? I don't think he was expected. He's running this like, oh no. Anything remotely complex, he tends to be in the wrong position on. I mean, that's hard to read. That's a really hard sort of like reverse rub route almost to read. What's his speed like closing? Go on, get there. No. Okay. It's not blowing me away. Looking at what you said, CMV, when you said he could be 16 at 45, I'd lean closer to about 30. That was all right. In the slot, I didn't mind that coverage. Look at this. Stay in. Get a hander. Yeah, I don't mind. Okay, that's better. He's kind of redeemed himself a little bit there. Little bit grabby, but not problematic grabby yet. What's his right? It says player of the year, so obviously going to click it because it's clickbait. So what have we got? Show me this motor. This is against Missouri. Okay. Was that the player of the year, apparently. Good hustle. If you like tackling, Kevin Winston Jr. is a safety with 2 missed tackles in his entire career. Add him to the list. Was he called Kevin? Oh, he's already on the list. Put him in bold. He is absolutely on the list. He's getting looked at. Is there another game here? I don't want to look at. I don't want to watch someone else's entire breakdown. That takes the fun out of it. I'm a sicko. We might just have to watch the highlights and just get a better gauge on play. I mean, it wasn't bad. It just wasn't mind-blowing. That was nice. Okay, ball skills are up. That gets an uptick. Little Odell Beckham in there, a little flippity-doodah. See him working out the slot. I mean, there's a little bit of usefulness there for him, just because the Eagles obviously are in a bit of a bind at the minute. You know, that the slot position's in flux because you don't really want to trust what was left if Maddox goes. You've got Cooper DeJean that is going to play the slot in an ideal world, but do you move him to safety now to replace Chauncey Gardner-Johnson and have him with Reed Blankenship? And then do you go for a slot corner or do you go for a safety? If you can play both and you've got two players that can play both, I think that is going to help you a ton. So I'm all for that. I like the tackle. Okay, I don't mind the tackling. I think he looks pretty secure around the ball. We got here. Yeah, okay. Tackling is looking solid. Solid enough. He's kind of redeemed himself, I think, for the whip in the SEC Championship. Plays, but yeah, see, that's the sort of thing that was missing on that tape the first time. It's just an extra bit of grit. I hate to say it, but with more games, there you go. Yeah, I like him. I like him. I can see why he's first round pick. I wouldn't say he's top 15, but 20, 21, 25, somewhere in that range. I think if you're going to grade it, like you can see him just trying to rip that ball out there. It's solid. Not mad at it. Yeah, it's good. Okay, I think I've seen enough. I like him. Get him on. So our first safety on the board is going to be, what's his name again? Malachi Starks. I like the name as well. He sounds like a baller. He's got a really baller name, unlike Liam Jenkins. Pass coverage, 7 from what we've seen. Run defense, 7. It would be 7.5, but I don't like the missed tackle. The agility is much better. I think he's clearly good at clicking and closing, changing directions, pivoting around. The ball skills, what we've seen, like an 8, he gets in the way, and the play strength is there. It's more the like the IQ and the willingness to tackle and when to pull back. So we'll put that at like, I don't know. Let's go. We'll go 8 because the strength isn't an issue. It's more that would take a bit of a knock, but that's okay. So if we do this, I'm guessing it's going to have like 33, 38 and a half. Okay, that's puts him in range with Walter Nolan. Puts him a little bit below James Pierce Jr. 38 and a half. So I need to work out like what will constitute a first round pick. But if we're going to go 43 is first round, 45 Derek Harmon is like guaranteed first round, then Malachi Starks 38 and a half, maybe bottom end first round, top second. We'll have a look at Kevin Winston tomorrow, just because we are like, no, we'll do it today. We'll give you one more bonus one. We can do one more. Kevin Winston Jr. Let's get him in. Let's add another player to our list. This is the Penn State one. I've heard things. It's a secure tackler. There you go. See, you won me already. It's not hard to win me over. Is there no tape? Is there no tape? Has anyone got any tape? I just want to look at some tape, if you would. Film breakdown. Just don't. It's a man in a hoodie. He's doing what I'm doing. Here we go. Right. Copying my whole flow bar for bar, but we'll go with it. I'm guessing it's looking at number 21. Coming downhill. I don't know what he paused. It would help if I could look at what he's pausing. We've got an arrow on him now. That's fine. Stop pausing it without me knowing what you're saying. Okay. Fair play to his grind. I like it. You keep going, sunshine. Season preview, no. Draft profile. We'll have a look. Okay, we got a pick. Jumps are out quite nice. Oh, it's Edge of Philly Sports. I hate those guys. Sorry. Just because they were called Edge of Philly Sports Network once, and I had to go at them and said, "You got Philly Sports Network. You can't be the edge of us." And they were like, we can have 2 Philly Sports Networks. And I was like, well, you can. But you can't have 2 ESPNs or 2 Fox. Can you do well like that? And then they changed their name, so it's all fine in the end. But I like their video layout, so I'll trust them. Have we got any tape? Here we go. Got some tape. Someone's only missed 2% of his tackles. That's an insanely low number. I think the average in the NFL is like 8 in a season. I might be wrong in saying that. I guess it's positional dependent as well. Like linebackers are probably prone to miss a few more than safeties, but he looks twitchy enough. Come down. Oh, he's quick. Jesus Christ, he's quick. Okay, that's the first player I want to come back and look at again. Look how quick he closes. I mean, it's a terribly thrown ball, which doesn't help. Jesus Christ, that's an awful throw. What's he done with it? Why is it up there? Anyway, yeah, good hit. Good hit. Great speed. You can see him close. Ah, he likes to it, doesn't he? And he's Penn State, so he's got that extra tax on him as well, being a Philly kid, technically. If you're wondering what's the catch, broke his knee. Ah. Right. So it's a Sidney Jones number, is what you're saying. We've got another Sidney Jones on our hands. Do I want to put myself through Sidney Jones again? Maybe I do. How early into the season was it? Did he play afterwards, or was it like late season? Is he still rehabbing it? I mean, I like what I'm seeing out of him. Yeah, he's good. He is good. If he slides, if you can get him like round 3 because of that, then I'm all in. Like, take a plunge. You've got depth. You've got DeJean. You've got Blankenship. If you want to move someone else to the slot, you've got someone like Keely Ringo. Not that I'd put him in the slot necessarily, but you've got options there. You don't have to have the home run hit. You can give him time to rehab that injury if it is a little bit more serious. Take the pressure off him a little bit. Yeah, I think he's good. I do think he's good. What is going on here? Oh, is that because I said mobility in the knee? Is that is the algorithm picking up? Oh no! I just wanted highlights. Hack City football. I wanted highlights. That's all I wanted. Don't ruin my fun. We're just gonna have to watch this one, aren't we? 4.4540 a couple of weeks ago. That's good for me. Yeah, that's fine by me. I mean, and also like it's only I say only. It's a broken knee. It's not like it's an ACL or an MCL, right? Like a broken knee can be done. That's not terrible. I mean, sure, it's not brilliant in terms of long term and taking bigger hits and stuff, but no, I really like him. When you said he was a tackle in safety, I thought you meant he was going to be more of just like a downhill player that probably wrongfully assumed that he just wouldn't be as good in coverage and that, he almost plays that box safety, Malcolm Jenkins-esque kind of role. And instead, you've just got someone that is absolutely everywhere. Like that play there blows my mind. That's an incredible play. Moving downhill, that's another one that we saw that earlier, but just, yeah, super athletic. If that doesn't knock his, my bad. I knew it was the knee, but it's a partially torn ACL. Okay, so does linger me a good bit, but it wasn't a full tear. Yeah, it wasn't a full tear, so we'll maybe let it slide a little bit for that. It's hard to say. I mean, like ACL recoveries are getting better. I think the question is confidence. Like, it's a really rough year to suffer an injury like that, as we saw with, Sidney Jones before. More than anything, just because it can knock your confidence. Like, it's really hard to put into words. But if you're out for an entire year in the one year you're meant to go to the NFL and you play in the season of your career and you destined to go first round, and that happens, and now your future's in jeopardy, and you still get to the NFL, the external and internal pressure that you put on yourself or feel are just going to be, through the roof. And if that confidence isn't there because the last football you played was, let's say, September, October, and now it's going to be August, but in NFL training camp, it's a big jump. And if you're not fully confident in that knee, if you're not fully confident in your ability to go and to deliver at that level because of the injury, that can be more debilitating than the injury itself. Like, I remember, I think it was Jeremy Reeves I was talking to like years ago when he first came out of college and was going through the injury where he had someone's cleat like rip across his stomach, and he was like out for an entire year. And he was saying that like he literally lost a sense of self, that you know you're just sat in a chair and you can't move and you have to have things fed to you, and like you're so used to being independent and going to training at like 6 in the morning, then going to college and lessons, then going to practice and then going gym, and all of a sudden like you don't know who you are because all you are is a football player, and now that's taken from you. Like, it can be a lot, and I think the transition to the NFL with an injury like that can just put a lot of extra mental strain on a player. So that would be the only thing that worries me off of that. And but it worked out well for Jeremy Reeves. But then again, he did suffer that like the first year at college or the second, not the last. So I don't know. But as a player, yeah, he's brilliant. Really, really good. I really like him. I think that is a super fun player to watch. And again, kind of being local, there's an extra element there of wanting him in Philadelphia. But yeah, no reason for me not to want to take a flyer on him. I think it comes down to his confidence and the medical team's confidence in him, like the Eagles medical staff, like maybe giving him, I don't know how it works. You probably can't give him a run through until he arrives. So it's hard work. Like, you have to do some digging. But if he's confident and you're confident, do the thing, because that is a very, very gifted young man with that kind of speed. Is crazy. So we'll put him on our sheet. Mr. Winston Jr. Wish there was more film on him, to be honest. Kevin Winston Jr. in coverage, from what we've seen, again, it is quite limited, this one, but we're going to go 8. Run defense, like 8.5. Agility is closer to a 9. The ball skills are probably about an 8. And the play strength is probably an 8 as well, which will bring us to, if we can just drag this one down, 41. So, yeah, first round selection in terms of play. I think, if you've got to grade all of these guys together, puts you above Walter Nolan, a little bit below Derek Harmon, a little bit below James Pierce Jr., which is sort of interesting, and above Malachi Starks. So if Malachi Starks is, like you said, anywhere between 17 and 35, then Winston should be somewhere in the middle of that. Then if he isn't, because of the injury, how aggressive do you get with that selection? I think that's a really good, there's two good players there in Winston and JPJ that I think could offer some massive upside to the team. They fill a position of need. They may get some extra value on them if they fall, just because of, very different concerns. I'd be more inclined to take a shot on Winston just because there aren't character concerns. And if the physical stuff's good to go, then why not? But you look at, and also, as I said, it was only partial. So we'll bear that in mind as well. But overall, I think that's it's a good little session of scouting. That we got through Kevin Winston, Malachi Starks, Kenneth Grant, and James Pierce Jr. So we got ourselves a nice little flurry of players there. I will try and do a longer stream. Might not be. I need to know what I'm doing, but there'll be a stream on Friday night. I want to do a long one, so if it's not Friday, it'll definitely be Monday, and we'll go like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and we'll get 7-8 players done and start prepping for the draft, because we haven't got long left. It's coming around quick, and I've got a lot of homework to do on these prospects. So I appreciate you all hanging out, and thanks again for being patient while my stream schedule has been awfully sporadic. I promise it was never the intention. But we'll get going again on Friday. Thought it was Monday then for a minute. And lock in, get some more prospects done, and try and build out our big board. So we end up with like a nice database of like hopefully 50, 60 players that we can roughly pick from then in the draft and see which ones we'd like. And if they do come up during draft day, we've got a little guide to reference. So say, oh yeah, Liam only put him at 21 and he's gone first round or something stupid. But yeah, thank you all for hanging out and for giving me some players and some ball knowledge along the way. CMV has become, our little football quant for this evening with all the injury updates and stuff. It's been a lot of fun. And yeah, I will see you guys on Wednesday where we'll do it all again. So until next time, go Birds, and I'll see you soon.